Hello everyone! Are you furry friends ready for a good creepypasta story based on a real event/tradition that swept through our country from 1998 to 2017? Obviously you know what I'm talking about. The roast game. This is a fact of life for David. Let me begin with telling you all about little David. David is the protagonist character in All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, and he was in these 4 episodes of All Dogs Go to Heaven, the series. The first one, called An Itch in Time, which aired on November 16, 1996. It's when David receives a voice recorder from his dad on his birthday, as Charlie and Itchy bump into it, with him on the streets the following morning. However, David shows off his new gadget in school, thus receiving detention. Charlie wants to give David a great birthday gift using David's voice recorder. Charlie creates an impromptu David lookalike with the voice recorder repeatedly saying mathematical equations and sneaks him out of detention. The second one, called Magical Misery Tour, which aired on October 11, 1997. It's when Charlie uses David's cloning machine to clone himself so he could have everything to do, including a date with Sasha, done at once. The third one, called Misguidance, which aired on October 18, 1997. It's when David has a minor role. He finds Charlie in the schoolyard and his friendly female classmate Alex in despair because she is looking for her science notes. After this scene, he is no longer seen until the big test. And finally, last but not least, the 4th episode, called History of All Dogs, which aired on August 21st, 1998. It's when David has to write a report on dogs, though he finds them boring. So, as he is tired, Charlie, with help from Itchy, makes up a story about how dogs save the world. Although he finishes, it turns out it is Saturday. So David decided to write his own report. David is the fun-loving, adventurous, brave, kind, and intelligent kid who's got the great magic tricks since he was 6 years old. He lost his biological mother. He has a stepmother due to his father remarrying and is disappointed about it. So he flees home. Now living under the care of Sasha LaFleur, he has an interest in magic and earning money from Cannery Square, Easy Street, a tourist attraction spot where people perform. In All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, after Charlie and Itchy meet Sasha in the dog bar, she takes them out back where she introduces them to a little boy she has named David, who has run away from home. When Charlie asks David why he ran away from home, he said it was because his mom died, and that his dad has married again, and now his dad and stepmother are gonna have a baby together, and he believes that they won't love him anymore. He also tells Charlie that he hopes to do magic tricks and become famous, and when he finds out that Charlie is an angel, he believes that Charlie is his guardian angel. Charlie offers to help David be a successful magician if David helps him retrieve the horn, which is in the San Francisco police station, which David agrees to. Now, what the hell happened to such an innocent boy when he was 10 years old? Well, I will tell you when it happens in this story. Let's begin the story, shall we? We start our story in the humble yet busybody place called San Francisco. On December 11th, 1998, after having to go to bed early for misbehaving at the dinner table, it's about 14 days until Christmas, as he is always wondering if his biological mother can come back to life again for Christmas, so he can live with her for the rest of his life. He's having a dream, a very special dream. Now this is where we begin our story. As his parents' home was decorated for the holidays in the dark, sleeping under his blanket, David was having a dream. He dreamed that he was in Santa's log cabin, and someone behind him yelled, "David, you're next!" Then David walks up to Santa Claus, and then Santa Claus goes, "Hello there, David. Sit on that chair. Well, I suppose a nice little boy like you have a gleam in your eye, and you want to ask me for something. Please tell me, what do you want for Christmas?" And David responded with, "Oh, Santa, I want to see my biological mother for Christmas. I truly miss her, and seeing her is something that is worth my entire life." Santa responds, "Oh, dear David, your wish is my command." Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, David's biological mother pops up and says, "David, I am here." David freaks out and says, "It's Christmas already?" And Santa's like, "Well, time flies, Merry Christmas." And David said, "Wait, Mom, where'd you go?" And Santa replied, "It's not time yet." "Don't be silly. She just came to say hi." Then David said, "Oh, sorry." Then Santa said, "It's fine." And then David's alarm clock went off at 7 a.m. As he woke up, he sighed. Then he went, "Ugh." Then he snoozes the alarm clock. Charlie comes in by telling him, "Morning, David." David replies to Charlie, "Good morning, Charlie." Then Charlie replies back, "It's time to get ready for school. I know you really have a rough time with your father and your stepmother, but this Christmas you'll see your biological mother again." David says, "I hope." Charlie Barkin laughs. Then David walks out the door, just in time for the school bus to pick up David. Then Charlie said, "Bye, David. See you around 2:30. Charlie walks back into the house, and Sasha LaFleur wakes up, and then she stretches. "Ugh. Good morning, Charlie." Charlie Barkin replies, "Morning, Sasha." Sasha asks, "David's off to school, right?" Charlie Barkin replies, "Yes." Then Sasha replied with, "What did David want for Christmas again?" Then Charlie Barkin said, "He said he wanted to see his biological mother for Christmas." Then Sasha replied back with, "I thought his biological mother was dead a long time ago." Charlie replies, "She is." Sasha then replies back to Charlie with, "Wait until I tell his stepmother." Then Charlie said, "Sasha, no." Then Sasha LaFleur responded with, "How about wishing for someone that's actually here, not someone that's dead or non-existent?" Charlie says, "Remember, he's just a little kid." Sasha LaFleur replied back with, "Okay, never mind." Later in the evening, a couple or so hours after David came back from school, says, "Hey, Charlie." Charlie Barkin replied with, "Yes, David?" David said, "I told my whole class what I wanted for Christmas." Charlie Barkin responded with, "And?" David said, "My teacher had a very similar wish." Charlie Barkin asked, "So what? You can't bring her back to life, David. You just have to pray to the Lord to do such thing. It's getting closer to Christmas after all." Then David replies with, "Okay." Charlie says, "But you can dream, can't you?" Then David says, "Yeah." Charlie replies back with, "Well then believe." David said, "Alrighty." Then Charlie replied back, "Good night, David." Then David responded back with, "Good night, Charlie." And Sasha also told Charlie, "Good night." And the evening fades into night. Now, it's December 14th, 1998, up in Dog Heaven. Charlie and Sasha head up there to meet up with Annabelle and talk to each other about what David should do in order to be able to see David's biological mother again. As Charlie and Sasha walk past the pearly gates looking for Annabelle, "Annabelle? Annabelle, are you there?" Annabelle responds with, "Oh, shh. What do you guys want?" Charlie replied with, "We want to talk to you about David." Then Annabelle said, "What about him?" Sasha replies with, "He has a Christmas wish." Annabelle says, "Ooh, what kind of Christmas wish?" Then Charlie responds, "David wants to see his biological mother again. That's the Christmas wish." Annabelle's like, "What? He's not supposed to see her." She is dead forever. Did you two remember me telling him not to ask to see his biological mother for Christmas? Charlie replied with, I don't remember. Then Sasha said, me neither. Then Annabelle continued on, well, let me help you. Tell David that if he should wish for something else, if he only wants to see his biological mother again for Christmas, he would have to pray to God that she comes, because if she doesn't come, Christmas will never come and no one will be merry. I want kids to believe in their imagination. No one will see Santa if they don't. No one will get any presents under their trees if they just don't believe. No one will get to see Rudolph if they don't believe. It's called having faith. Here, let me get my Bible out to read some of my personal favorite verses. Then Annabelle brings out her Bible and reads John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Then she reads another verse, Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace you have been saved through faith. Then Sasha asked, but what if children have the right to think differently? Annabelle shunned her second thought. But children can't think for themselves. They're not adults. Either David must believe in Christmas, or there is no Christmas, there's no God. So please do your best to maintain the spirit of Christmas, and God bless the both of you. And take Itchy with you. After all, he is your worthy companion. Then Charlie said, okay. Itchy's like, what's wrong with that Christmas wish? Annabelle replied back with, you can't revive the dead unless if you pray. Itchy says, okay, I'm going with Charlie. Bye, Annabelle. Then Charlie and Sasha said, bye, Annabelle. Now with Charlie, Itchy, and Sasha flying like angels slowly back down to Earth in San Francisco, they have something to tell David. Something that Annabelle wanted to tell him, or have tried to tell them to tell David before. Then Charlie and Sasha woke David up out of his bed. And then David said, yes, Charlie and Sasha? Charlie asked, are you still believing in God? David replied with, yes. Charlie asked, have you been praying like I told you to? David then said, yes. Then Charlie said, good. You should keep on doing that every morning and every night. David said, okay. Then Charlie and Sasha said, good night, David. As David was going back to bed, all comfy in his blankets, Itchy finally said, make your school teachers proud, David. And finally, Charlie, Sasha, and Itchy went back to sleep. And yet again, another night has passed by, and David is still dreaming. Now, it's December 18th, 1998. It is David's final day of school before winter break, and David takes the bus ride back home and notices something different when it comes to his habits of praying to God to see his biological mother for Christmas. He kept praying and praying and praying, but it was never enough for his father and his stepmother, even though Charlie, Itchy, and Sasha LaFleur made sure that he prayed every morning and every night. He was grounded for being too shy to sing some Christmas songs with the elementary school choir. The next day, he wakes up to hearing his parents arguing downstairs. David's stepmother starts the argument with, really? You're going to treat poor David like that? Because he was too shy to sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas or Jingle Bells? Then David's father replied with, yes, he deserves to be grounded. Haven't you seen this little shit? He's been running away from home constantly for over 2 goddamn years. David's stepmother then said, well, so what? He can't get along with his younger brother, and he's passing in most of his classes now. He has a B+ in English, an A- in math, an A+ in science, also a B+ in social studies, and the only class he is failing is choir, all because he refused to sing a song he was too shy to sing. That's ridiculous. Then David's father replied, no, it's not. He has to pass every single class, or else he gets absolutely nothing for Christmas. David's stepmother then says, why? That's petty. You should get at least something convenient for Christmas like a skateboard or a PS2 because David looks like he's bored to tears. David's father then said, No. Fuck all that. Nothing. Then David's stepmother responds with, I've been paying all the bills for this damn house. I tried to be a good mother figure to David and his brother. I tried to be a kind and loving wife too. Then David's father replied with, I've been in the fucking Navy, served 33 years, almost died in Vietnam, and I have been a successful and busy father for a decade. And I get no respect? For what? A kid. A kid who can't even stay home without running away. Then David's stepmother replies with, I can't believe that you would do nothing for this kid. Just because you were in the military doesn't grant you the right to be a self-absorbed douchebag and an absolute deadbeat. Then David's father replied with, How dare you disrespect me, you un-American filthy old whore? David's stepmother slapped her husband in the face and asked, Do you want a divorce? Then David's father replied with, No, absolutely not. I just want to have obedient kids. David's stepmother emotionally responded with, Well then, why can't you just give David what he wants for Christmas, which is his biological mother, even though she has been dead for years? He's been praying to the Lord that on Christmas Day he'll be able to see her. David's father then replied back with, I've been praying for him to see his mother again too, but the truth is, I really love him. I've seen friends of mine die in front of my face in combat. I almost got killed in Vietnam like I said before. Then David went downstairs and yelled, Stop it! Please just stop it! I can't take it anymore! Then David's father told David, If you can't seem to handle us being your parents, you better be running for your goddamn life, because that's what you keep on doing. David then replied with, Okay, well I guess I've done everything I could, and I believe that Charlie and Sasha failed me. I tried believing, but it's never enough for them, or especially you two. David's father finally responded back with, Aren't you gonna change? Because if not, I will teach you a lesson to help you change. So start running for your life. Now. Now! Then David starts running for his life as his father is chasing him all across the neighborhood. Hell, his father was chasing David all the way up to the Golden Gate Bridge and back. As David and his father that has been chasing him for a while bumped into a few people, including a mall Santa that stood outside the storeway saying Merry Christmas. And then David and his father that has been chasing him for such a long time finally came back home, and then the door slammed, never to hear from David ever again. Well, since David ran for his life, whatever really happened to him was his fate. David is gone, just like the 18,568,322 children in America, or in the real world. David, too, was slaughtered for not believing in Christmas. It was a rather simple process, but they had to go out farther in the woods to complete their slaughter. Then they had to head back to their homes with the stench of cadaverine, scatoli, and putrescine. But they were able to clean themselves back up. I'm sure of that. But they have 2 days until Christmas. But David's family is getting ready for a big family reunion feast on Christmas Day. But without David. Now the others have to decide what to do with Timmy. Well, this has been a fact of life for David. Poor David did not make it, but Timmy managed to stay alive and keep the faith. I am Bryan Mullins the Fox, your narrator, and I am out of here. Goodbye. Welcome to Corsac Theater, the new home for future full-length feature films, perfect for the entire family, even if it's adult-oriented. Grab a bag of popcorn, or your favorite snack, a drink, and everything else you need, because by God, you're gonna need it. Be sure you're still not full from that Thanksgiving dinner you had earlier with your family while practicing social distancing. Or else your stomach will burst, and nobody wants that here at Corsac Theater. Without further ado, here come some of our upcoming attractions.
Coming only to Corsac Theater this 2021 holiday season, the newest, most exciting creepypasta from Bryan Mullins the Fox.
Mistress Alice Fiorella Alamanello, an 11-year-old girl who lived at a mansion in upstate New York. She was at the top of her class in elementary school. Her father and mother are known contributors to society in a way where they win the contest for the most decorated home for the holidays every year, 18 years in a row. But behind those vintage doors and those decorations lies the terror, the deceit, the scandalous former holiday tradition that took place. The blood sacrificed just like Jesus, deadly only for her sin and nobody else's. The shit has never been so literal, and the bones don't deserve to go up on that Christmas tree. So much for praying for peace on earth and goodwill toward men. Jesus Christ. Her two only parents, Sally Sherman Alamanello and that bastard father of hers, Stewie Stewart Alamanello, in The Mistress Alamanello Story, coming to Corsac Theater Christmas 2021. Stay tuned after the feature for a short message from Bryan Mullins the Fox. In the meantime, enjoy A Fact of Life for David 2, Timmy's Final Wish. When Timmy was young, he was glad to be alive. After the fact of David's death, now, to survive death, he has to become David. He has to face his fears and run for his life, like David did over 20 years ago. If life is worth living as it may seem to be, then actually live it. Don't just die young for the Lord. Don't die for Christmas dinner. If baby Jesus wasn't born on Christmas Day and never existed, why would it only be miraculous if you are alive? It's not that you are nothing, but we have to make you feel special. Because who wants to make a special child like you cry? Timmy, who lives on 8624 Barks Peak in San Francisco, which is not an actual house, sleeps alone. He had a rough night because Sasha lectured him on being an atheist and not believing in God, baby Jesus, Santa Claus, and Christmas in general. How she disapproved of him was quite egregious. Timmy was grounded only for one night. He cried himself to sleep. And this is where our story begins. Timmy is in a tight situation and has no other choice than the two that was offered to him by Charlie. Either admit that he should have never been born or die by falling off the holly jolly Christmas cloud. A cloud covered in festive lights, Santa with his elves, and to top it all off, a Christmas tree at the middle. As soon as he fell in his dream, he screams, "Ah!" He had a nightmare, or a very, very bad dream. Timmy wakes up at 7:30 a.m. and says,
"Ah, Sasha!"
Sasha runs up to him and asks loudly,
"What?"
Timmy replies,
"I just had a nightmare that I was a bad boy and was thrown off the sparkly Christmas cloud."
Sasha then says,
"You're fine. No one will hurt you. That cloud does not exist."
She continues,
"Are you okay? You seem to be quite a heartstopper."
Timmy replies,
"Yes, I just feel out of place emotionally. Give me some time to recover."
Timmy gets out of bed, goes downstairs, and walks into the kitchen, fetching himself something to eat. His stomach is grumbling, starving from being grounded in his room last night. He fetches himself some doggy treats and a bone on his way out the door. Timmy has to go to work at a charity called Puppies and Homes for the Holidays. Timmy only works 4 to 12-hour shifts, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. He gets a total of $360 a week. He recently got fired a day later for questioning the existence of God, Santa Claus, and all the other fictional Christmas characters. The same reason that David was slaughtered and his butt meat was consumed for. Timmy comes straight back home, doesn't even try to talk to Sasha, because she had that stern look on her face. Then Charlie walks into the room and starts arguing with Sasha on how she's treating poor Timmy. Here's how it went.
To me, this is the last time I'm warning you. If you don't reconvert back to being a Christian, your days are numbered.
I can't believe how poorly you're treating him. He can't just be used as a tool for much longer. He's given up on everything he used to love.
I thought I told you that. I still have faith in him. He just doesn't believe in Christmas anymore. Timmy's grown up.
That's because you keep giving him empty promises year after year.
Timmy's an absolute failure. No matter how much he tries to believe in God, he keeps on failing.
God doesn't fucking exist! You dumb cunt! How fucking dare you talk to me like that? Don't you ever think about double speaking to my fucking face ever again. Please.
I am not calling you a liar. What's the point in having to constantly look out for him and being the best that I can when he doesn't have faith back in me?
I'm tired of being used as a tool against Timmy. A puppy who had no fortune and most likely never will have fortune. Because what's the use in being a guardian angel when all of a sudden, at the drop of a fucking bird with the crystal plumage, you've sworn to beat all odds against him?
He was on the verge of dying from the cold and wintry weather back in '98.
Carface faced the same frosty weather, but he managed to live through it. What the fuck is with the excuses? Aren't you gonna tell me the truth about the reason why Timmy was on the verge of death?
I'm not too sure. He had a cut on one of his paws. He was ditched by his previous human, and that's where I originally found Timmy.
What owner did you think he had before? There must be a plot hole somewhere.
You know what? Do you really want to know the truth?
Yes, do tell me. Why are you staying silent? Tell me, for the love of dog.
I tried eating him, but I just wouldn't sit still. And whoever found him covered that wound with a Band-Aid. I tried to hide it so indirectly that no one would understand how miserable he was.
Great God Almighty! How fucking dare you! I thought we were guardian angels, constant and true. You sick fuck. Jesus Christ.
I wish Christmas was a better time for him.
Of course you would. Because he would be at a better place.
No, please don't leave me.
I have to leave you for worse. I wish Timmy, back in 1998, would have lived like Carface did, in the cold, and stayed that way.
You're right. I don't deserve you. I deserve nobody.
After Sasha cried herself to sleep and slept for 14 hours, as soon as she heard a knock on the door, she knew that behind it was Timmy. Timmy walked into the kitchen. He felt shy, so just for good measure, he got himself some more treats to eat. All of a sudden, Timmy hears Sasha approaching him, and boo, Sasha was there. She began to maniacally chase Timmy around till he fled out of the house, and then she stopped. Timmy, on the other hand, went to a nearby hotel and slept through the night peacefully. Timmy then wakes up at 11 a.m. without a peaceful home to live in, without Charlie being the main guardian angel to protect him, and most certainly without a job. Timmy complains to himself.
I slept so peacefully that I didn't even have a dream. I wake up living a lie, just to satisfy someone's psychotic needs. I really used to be this relatable character, had a wound on one of my legs, or paws, or whatever, lived with it, and still, I had a happy ending back in 1998. But now, everything has changed. I am no longer a relevant character in existence. How can I be the sweetest and most relatable character when a particular figure with the green eyes of Sasha LaFleur is trying to kill me? I mean, shit like this has gone way out of hand, and I have to come up with one wish. My final wish. I truly wish that I find a better place than this imaginary hellhole and live in the real world. Up there. Because if I believe in God for any longer, when will my wish come true? I probably can't even think for myself.
Timmy, talk to me.
And
You have only one wish to make if you want to die a happy dog.
okay, I wish that I get to see David again. That's all I wish for.
Alrighty, your wish has been granted. But you will only be able to see him tomorrow.
Today is the day where Timmy gets to see David again. He tries to find him, but he couldn't find him yet. He kept searching and searching and searching, but to no avail. He kept searching. Timmy found an illusion of blondish orange-red hair, but little did he know, it is Sasha. Sasha finds Timmy again, near the house where he once lived peacefully. Sasha chases him around again, but the opposite way around. Instead of chasing him out, she is chasing him in. Timmy then broke his ankle and fell over. Sasha grabs a kitchen knife. She begins stabbing Timmy to a bloody pulp. Timmy, at this point, is dead. He has been completely slaughtered, chopped up, disemboweled, and disembodied. The only thing that is left of him is a skeleton. Sasha walks out of his house, starts eating his raw flesh, as coincidentally enough, it is Christmas Day. She then walks up the stairway to heaven. Annabelle sees her with the rest of Timmy's raw flesh, and she panicked. But without shame, they started gathering around Sasha, eat the rest of Timmy's raw flesh, and she started bouncing up and down like the bouncy, bloody little Christmas queen that she is. Sasha became so full and fat that she lost her balance. All of a sudden, as the proteins from Timmy's raw flesh began to break down in her system, she began to feel her tummy ache. Every piece of Timmy is inside her. Finally, all of a sudden, Sasha flatulates so loud and so hard, she flew out of heaven, backwards. She falls down to her death in such a smooth and bodily preserved fashion. Her body's intact, but the irony is, she's dead as well. Envious beyond guilt, jealous beyond desire, but most of all, prideful beyond death. Her soul escapes her body and flies back to heaven after Annabelle called for her spiritually. And you won't believe what happens next. As Sasha's body begins to decompose, the ghost of Timmy drops in. This spiritually alive, yet physically decomposing Sasha is beginning to lose some fur. Her eyeballs then fall right out of her head. Then she loses her collar, her hair, and the rest of her fur. She flies up to the sky one more time, just to then explode. Finally, as the rest of the decomposed matter drops down onto the ground, there is a full embodied spirit beyond its dead. This is the greatest twist of fate in this Creepypasta series. Timmy's spirit, alongside with Sasha's dead and fully decomposed body, turns into a blonde-haired kid that Timmy wanted to see this entire time, but never lived up to his fullest potential. His dream and his wish certainly came true, but with no success. the reincarnate of David, then says joyously,
I have become David, the destroyer of faith, the lesser of the two evils, and most importantly, peace shall reign. But here's a life lesson to be learned. Faith isn't won, it isn't expected, and it is certainly not lost if you don't believe in God. Faith is earned without God.
As the David reincarnate walks into the sunset, Charlie runs up to him.
David! David! Oh, David.
Charlie, it's you again.
I've never seen you in 22 years, and it tears me apart that Sasha has left me for a holiday tradition, now no longer common practice.
I can't thank God either.
Well, that's alright. Let's walk ourselves back home.
As Charlie and the David reincarnate walk into the sunset, we end our story here. At the end of the day, heaven was never to be visited, reached out for, or a place for him to stay ever again, even after his death. The end. My imaginary phone is going off. Sasha just texted me, and she said, it's over. You just found out that I'm a cannibal after several years of not realizing that. Wait, it happened before? No. Don't you dare lie to me, Sasha. Don't you dare lie to me. Oh my god. What the fuck? You mean that Timmy wasn't fortunate after all? God fucking damn it. Oh, my phone went off again. She says she wants a divorce. Wow. Gee. Well, there goes my crush. It's gone after almost 7 years. Well, that does it for A Fact of Life for David 2, Timmy's Final Wish, the sequel to End the Creepypasta series. I am Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out. I wish I was fucking lying. Holy shit. Fuck! You know what? After all this, I will never have a crush on an individual fictional character from any TV show or any movie or anything like that ever the fuck again. I am over it. Fuck. I can't believe I've been lied to. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye now. Hi, I'm Bryan Mullins the Fox, and you just enjoyed A Fact of Life for David 2, Timmy's Final Wish. And I hope to see you next year in the next creepypasta flick that will show in Corsac Theater, called The Mistress Alamanello Story. Until then, I'm Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out. The Corsac Theater is closed. Time to study now. If only I could find out why I'm adopted. I wonder why I was told as a kid that baby Jesus was in a manger right around the time he was born. Why would we be portrayed as animals? I wonder what's in the mail for me.
Mary, it's you here. Good grief, I didn't expect you to be here in my dreams. I thought you were right next to me in bed. Did you have any plans of going on an adventure with me to find the truth of why baby Jesus was in a manger?
Hi there, Ebony. Didn't expect you here either. I wonder why you even concern yourself over the Bible. The Bible has no credibility, the biggest example of that being Noah's Ark. But I wouldn't want to bore you to tears. Please be more specific about your little journey here.
Well, I've been doing some research and I want to take you all the way back in time. If only I could find the little time machine I just pulled right out of my ass.
Ha 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 ha, you are silly. A time machine? Are you sure it fits the two of us? If so, I will be eager to oblige. I wonder where we will be going when we go back in time. I am curious on why you would make such a precautious decision.
I know, right? Maybe when we get there, we will also travel back to the time when you were young and still had a younger brother. I could even get to know his name before he was taken away for a Christmas holiday feast.
I have a younger brother? I thought you were my younger brother.
Yeah, but your memory can deceive you. Maybe it's just worth a try anyway.
Maybe I do want to be young again. Also, I really want to be with him again. I think his name was Christopher, or was it Bartholomew? I don't know. All I know is with you and me together, we can at least try. Try as we must, I say.
Yes, thank you. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or is there something even deeper you want me to know about?
I really want to know how my younger brother went away. Was it in a dream or a nightmare? It must be gruesome for all I know.
Well, it is even worse. It's not just gruesome, it's an absolute bloodbath. When he was a little boy, since his family was very religious in nature, he had his butt literally cut clean off instead of them consuming ham for Christmas. To be honest, Cannibalism itself is legal except in Idaho, and it's very easy for someone to get away with murder. How many children just like him will you discover on the way?
Great balls of fuck, what a fire. I did not know that, and for argument's sake, let's stay neutral and say you come to your own conclusion.
Well, I am pretty damn sure I reached mine. Enough said. Can you help us get out of this bright but dark dream we're having right now?
Sure, no problem. I am so excited, let's go.
Oh no, my outer conscience says it's only 4:30 a.m. I only need 4 hours until I wake up. What do you want to do for now until then? Maybe we'll just wait here like silent church mice and wait until the cows come home.
I am still thinking so deeply about my brother, it still may take me a while to cope with the idea of visiting back. All these years, and I've been fed nothing but lies. Lies were told to me just to save my own. This is a travesty. I feel a little shy now, but I will not let hesitation get the best of me now.
There, I know how you feel. I've been fed lies too, cried myself to sleep once. But ever since then, my mental health has been stellar at best. I am not having deep thoughts of depression or the sort.
Well, off we go.
Off to the races, lassie. Well, now is the time for what we must do, Mary. We have to go back in time. Let's get all our emotions out of the way, think long and hard, and we'll come back smelling like a rose, I promise.
Are you sure, Ebony? Are you? I don't want to come back smelling like a slaughterhouse built in the 1950s or 70s. Besides, it is easily one of the hardest things I ever thought of doing, so I'll go there regardless.
Ha 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 ha. You are silly. You won't even be a little girl when we go back in time. Just be thankful that you're not too small to come back grown up.
You, being little is something impossible to do. That's why time machines are taboo in the West nowadays. This is the only one we can get to.
Same. I get how you feel, but all of this whining you're doing just seems so silly. Stop being such a cock teaser, Mary.
Ooh, that was a hell of a nail biter. By the way, you might want to do it quickly before the people of the past know that we are coming to them and for their precious little potential manger feast.
I can't even begin to imagine you as a little girl being in that manger. No one would want to eat you, but they are relentless. Emotions can be deceiving.
That's why Christmas isn't so cheerful. That's why I've been fed these lies in the first place. Thank you, Captain Renegade again. Now, let us go back to those days and see what they are really up to. I wonder what year you want us to travel back to.
Between 6 and 4 BC, and even the final years BC, where when baby Jesus was supposedly born. Ooh, cringe.
Hit the rock, Jackie Pie. Well, here we are now. They all just knew that we were coming back to their day and age. They left us with some relics and some bones by the way. I wonder where this baby Jesus went and where did all of this ceremonious celebrations take place anyway. We searched everywhere but couldn't find any. Ebony, do you have any explanations as to why?
Obviously, since you talked about how the Bible has no credibility, the conclusion came to us. The conclusion was that since the Bible is not credible, every single fictional story that we're taught by it is fake. I'm not surprised, but I am ashamed of my journey. I would have found something extraordinary, but no, nothing the fuck at all. These people with such balls of steel, they knew before their time that what they were doing was wrong. But did they listen to the 10 Commandments? Did they know that their supposed Lord and Savior would frown down upon them with great fury? Would he have killed them all? Absolutely not. He hasn't the balls to go with great irony. I have so much fury in my blood that I would turn it into paint and write a message with it to them. They should be ashamed of themselves. I should write if God would have pity for such a man or being, that he will be his guide to the end of the world and back. Maybe you never existed before. Besides, we're almost done with our journey, even though it didn't take us long at all. Now, do you want to come back to see your younger brother again, Mary?
Not right now, Ebony. I want to see where the hell that Bloody Mary went. I want to see how much of a whore she would be if God never took off his clothes to fuck her with cosmic cum. Maybe Satan should have been there. Being the stepfather of this would-be could-be grown-up Jesus. Now, I don't blame you, Ebony. I just don't get me started on my baby brother, or else I will start crying again. I don't want to come back to the time where nobody cared for me, nobody put food on my plate, nobody raised me or helped me grow. I know that I'm an ungrateful wench, but come on, Ebony, I don't know if I am the mother of that child, but if I am, I should have known that you were the son I forgot existed before. I should have known that young boy's name, and I know it's not you, Ebony. I know that after 5 years being engaged and married, that you would be that god with his elastic and cosmic coon. If that's what people believed painted this boy's life into existence, sex is life, and the creation of such
This is why I married you, knowing you are of pure and young blood. But I never knew how entitled you would be. Just look at yourself, being overly dramatic over a journey that hasn't even completed yet. I know that you are far better than this Marianne Smith. Not going to lie, but I feel uncomfortable standing in this cave all Croatian shit though.
Come on, don't just stare at me like a beta male, fuck me already. I could have both a cock and a vaginal, but in all seriousness, I could be your goddess.
Oh please do, carry on my love. Let's go see your younger brother. Bartholomew, welcome back. Marianne would have been here seeing you, but unfortunately she went back in time, and I thought she would never go back to her childhood, but she did. Unfortunately, Marianne passed away because she too had radical Christian parents, who believe in things like conversion therapy, the roast game, and just many other terrible things. I am so glad you're with me.
At least I'm back on planet Earth, hopefully to live to see another day, or for an entire lifetime like what was robbed from me by my former radical Christian parents. I only see the error in my ways as courage to defy all odds, but I lost it all. Now, I have fully recovered as a single being instead of a single file.
I know that the name Bartholomew is one that's hard to come by, but being a rarity does not mean that you are the only one that exists with that name. It's an alternate name for Matthew. Ebony is an alternate name for Ebonardo Wilbur Franklin Smith, my full name.
My full name is Bartholomew Matthew Paul St. Jones Smith, and it is one hell of a name to die for. I am not Jesus, for which I died of no sin. I am just here with you, Ebony. Stuck in a temporary timeline frozen in alternate space which is now known as daily reality, I can feel oxygen coming back again. What a time to be alive, Ebony.
Ha 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 ha. Me and Marianne have been talking about a boy like you for so long, probably too long.
I am way too fucking disappointed in her, so much in fact, that I wish she was my actual mother.
But she isn't, my boy. Neither am I your dad. I am not your typical wannabe father that just has to save a life to be opportune enough in something I had no prior experience of.
What are you doing it for then, if not just for kisses, a relationship, and even some pussy down the road?
I did it because now I know why baby Jesus was in a manger due to popular Christian folklore and mythology.
Yes, almighty God, please tell me why. I really want to know the truth.
He was born in the manger so other sheep won't interrupt their gathering. Sheep don't really eat humans, humans eat humans. Why is the original folklore so inconsistent though? Maybe, just maybe, it's too sinful and unadulterated to be considered holy truth to the supposed word of God. Even if I were to completely make that up, it's at least better than believing the Bible your entire life only to grow out of it. A manger is where animals eat. Humans don't.
Oh, well, that was a close one. I am a fool to have followed the herd too deep. Thank you, Ebony. You are a real gutbuster of hard work, passion, and light-hearted curiosity.
I'm not finished yet. Why is then baby Jesus called the newborn king? just so they can eat the god that made the baby beforehand? Or are we all sheep falling in the herd too deep?
There is no newborn king. Either God is dead, or the newborn is God.
I will let your body regain all the conscience it has since lost. Are you feeling better, my son? If so, that sounds amazing.
I feel so much better now, Dad.
Well, here we are. So long after marrying her and making sure she gets her wish. She dies in vain like a coward.
How so very shameful. She would have been a perfect mother model if she didn't have George Washington's hairdo for an excuse not to be.
If only I never met her before, I would have stayed a virgin.
Confound that bitch. She was nothing of value to me. You didn't even get to fuck her. She destroyed you and replaced me with the god she truly believed, but hid her faith from me and you. How untrue.
Confound that bewitched demon. If I jammed an egg straight up that cooch, I would make her an egg salad instead of assuming that she just hatched one hot steaming goose egg. Maybe that fucker's made of gold or something. If only that ass was just as worth it as having you by my side. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to Corsac Theater, and now we're pleased to bring you our upcoming attractions. Behind a computer screen lies a legend. Behind a persona, one man with one mission has gotten everything straight, reassessed what was going on around him, and now, after over a month of production and 10 days of premiering in December, he who must be named brings you the roast game, a final look on virtual VHS. 10 parts, spanning 5 hours in total, including all the teaser promos and previews for the event beforehand, and everything else about the serious topic at hand. 5 hours of looking at every angle, 5 hours of analyzing every forefront, and 5 hours of timeline after timeline in chronological order to set a precedent, a breaking point left unbroken, a promise kept, and a clusterfuck of information to come our way. On January 7th, Bryan Mullins the Fox proudly presents a 10-part series analyzing the following on virtual VHS. Number 1, the history of studying calories. Number 2, the history of studying self-conflicting consumption statistics. Number 3, the history of studying Christmas food waste statistics. Number 4, the history of studying the roast game death toll. Number 5, the history of studying roast preparation time. Number 6, the history of studying literal forensic evidence. Number 7, the history of studying anatomy and meat choice. Number 8, the evolution of the Canadian roast game theory. Number 9, the history of studying the real-life example of the roast game theory. And finally, number 10, the evolution of the roast game theory. The roast game. A final look. a monumental experience you will never forget. Make Christmas and all who loved and enjoyed it when you were young, growing up, as an adult, or even to this very day, never feel or see it in the same way ever again. Coming to virtual VHS January 7th, only from Bryan Mullins the Fox home video. Son of Bloody Mary, coming to virtual VHS in March 2022. Bryan Mullins the Fox home video shares with you such a delightful opportunity to tune in, or at least watch, all these 4 great seasons in a brand new way. Season 1 from 2018. Season 2 from 2019, Season 3 from 2020, and finally Season 4 from 2021 will all premiere separately on virtual VHS. The Roast Game Theory Seasons 1 through 4 coming to virtual VHS between March and June 2022, only from Bryan Mullins the Fox home video. Before we play the Mistress Alamanella story, here are the coming events that follow. What a Gift You Would Have Been by Bryan Mullins the Fox, a music video in tribute to this creepypasta, a cartoon at the end, known as Snow Foolin' from 1949, and finally, my post-roast game Christmas message from me to you. Until then, let's watch. Hello everybody, it is I, your host, Bryan Mullins the Fox, here to comfort you with a nice and well-adjusted end to an era on my channel. This will be the very last roast game themed creepypasta. After this, any creepypasta will be either post-roast game related or not about the roast game at all. So let's use the time I have left to talk to you in good use, shall we? Our story begins in a small village known as McInerney Park in Cranberry Lake, New York.
I am getting so bored of the same repetitive Christmas movies all over again. There's How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 1966, there's A Christmas Story from 1983, there's It's a Wonderful Life from 1941. And others like Home Alone from 1990. I know they may be quote-unquote timeless classics, but come on, all good things must come to an end.
I don't think you know all that much about our amazing culture. If you don't believe in Christmas, we might have to talk about it later.
I haven't seen my husband and my daughter for a while. I wonder what my curious daughter is curious about today. I hope it's not being sick and tired of our great cultured traditions surrounding Christmas. Why would it be necessary for a grown woman and a mother to be this rapey? I shouldn't have minded as much, but I am a bit extreme on my religion. I will go downstairs now. I heard from your father that you were questioning our very cultured society. But you know, my darling, you are much more special than a turkey or ham to us.
Mom, I don't want to be reminded that my butt can easily be sacrificed like Christ on the cross. I wonder where my two brothers are.
Maybe just maybe tonight, all those dreams are out of sight. Maybe it's time to put out the lights, and lay down to cry and sleep tonight. Maybe just maybe I'm wrong, maybe you won't be here for long. I just got to stop praying to someone above. For there was something I had to shove up my head and dream I that fell in love with your presence as touching as a dove.
Oh my God, you just blew my mind with your poem of great wisdom. Not even Jesus or God could compare.
Don't be so shy, I am not finished with my poem just yet. Maybe I must cope, then I'd have to hope that someone out there hears me from afar. Or maybe pretending isn't that hard to do. I will miss you in perpetuity, I will take the opportunity to jump off this ledge and fly. I must not die.
Bravo, my brother. Bravo, now let's see what Misters, Mom, and Dad are up to now.
Are you sure you would want to tell her this? I am not so sure how she's going to feel about telling the truth. That she was never special and should never feel this entitled to live so comfortably in her house? Of course not. Why should we tell the truth? We would be bad parents. We would have to bear responsibility on what we must do to resolve this degeneracy from our Christmassy culture.
No, I don't want her to know who we really are. We are such bad parents, we can't even properly dress Gucci because he himself nearly died from bleeding to death from his ass being cut off. That's why he has turkey legs, and for all we know, he's more special than her.
Okay, I just wanted to know. I didn't want to be too much of a nerd with the turkey legs, but it's in our bloodline, our DNA to succinctly justify our humble and holy feast opportunities. I also understand that Gucci can never grow a full-blown ass ever again. For all we know, that meat was tender. We are tender-hearted as well.
Good morning, Dad. I was just wondering, what were you two talking about last night? Did you mean that Gucci never had a full-blown ass? I thought he was wearing turkey legs as a joke. I really am such a sick fuck lately.
Wow, say it ain't so. My goose is cooked.
So, we are called into a situation where some special Sunday school girl named Mistress being slaughtered for not believing in Christmas. Which I believe that this situation is in a gray area indeed. The murder and the desecration of the corpse is illegal, but cannibalism itself is legal. If we have to, we will let them off the hook, because who can afford not wasting a ham these days?
Ah, shit. Here we go again with another murder. I told you we can't be up this late at night. Maybe that should change. This department should be open 24/7. Their house is only 5 miles away. We're almost there. Hello, sir. You called us last night to notify to us that there was a murder that has taken place in such a sophisticated manner that her parents escaped and ran into the forest in the night. I could have sworn I heard some weird and off-putting cackling.
Yes, I was so soundly asleep until I heard my door slam shut from the brutal windy force of the front door slamming beforehand. My brother 12-step heard it too, but he fell back asleep shortly later. So, we are in this interrogation room for the likely suspicion that you are not the only one that engaged in the murder. Your wife engaged in this too? And for what reason?
Yes, I am afraid so. I don't know why you would be suspicious that she was part of it too. We didn't necessarily agree to it, but we did it regardless.
So, okay then. I just wanted to know. I got a bit confused.
So, what are you cops going to do about this?
We'll just have to put you in jail, and you and your wife will wait for a fair trial.
I am too innocent to die. I am special, more special than anyone else. Santa would be my daddy, and I would be his daddy boy.
So after a fair trial, I have the unfortunate news. You are found not guilty for murder and the desecration of the corpse. Neither is your wife.
Oh, thank God. What is the sentencing, Your Honor?
30 days in jail and community service. Also, a psychiatrist that will help you with counseling. Your wife is free, but you are not.
Okay, I will serve my time.
Thank you for watching the very last roast game related creepypasta. I am your roast game related creepypasta connoisseur, Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out. Merry post-roast game Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay tuned for the animated short from 1949 known as Snowfoolin' and a post-roast game Christmas message. Bye bye. I never knew what a gift you would have been. The abundance of love you've given to no one else but me. To no one else but me. I've never known the proof you would have shown. The fact that you're so bad to the bone, for the world to see, for the world to see. If I were to be born right in a manger, I feel like I'm more likely to be in danger. That's where the animals
been to accept you would do the deed? You would have been will never be what I want, will never be what I need. What a gift you would have been to accept you would do, to accept you would do the deed.
Start the day with a song and sing the whole day through. Even while you're busy working, do just like the birdies do. Though the day may be long, you never will go wrong. Off key, on key, any old key, just start the day with a song. December 21st, first day of winter. Nauseating, isn't it? The hard way.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And how about you folks joining in and singing this merry old song? Just follow the bouncing hen fruit.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, one horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh.
Hot coffee. Get your hot coffee.
Oh, one coffee, please.
One coffee. Coming up. I thought all boys spend the winter in Florida.
Oh, dear. At these prices, who can afford Florida?
Hello everybody, I am Bryan Mullins the Fox, and this is my post-roast game Christmas message before Corsac Theater closes for the rest of the year and for a while. May there be a reason for children to live again, for much longer than our generation ever could. May there be turkey or ham Christmas consumption statistics for the first time ever in decades that actually comport to reality, like Thanksgiving statistics about turkey and ham. For the past 20 years. Thanksgiving had no problem with that, but Christmas had every bit of a problem with that. And back then, children were to never live as long due to the fact that some of them are just too curious. Some of them are just too impure. So children had to be anally sacrificed with their asses cut off for Christmas roast during roughly 19 years of the roast game era, and the established fact that families in America and Canada in general in 2017 went back to eating turkey and ham as the hallmark of Christmas dinner after 20 years. It is very shocking to me how I'm still alive. It's very shocking that a good amount of Zoomers, which are degenerates, are still alive. But we made it. But the kids aren't all right necessarily. They must be all right. They must have a bright future. But the roast game is only a signal that it's too little, too late. I'm not expecting or hoping for the best of future generations because I don't think they're not going to realize that they're going to be screwed in the long run, just like we were. But Merry post-roast game Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you in 2022. Goodbye. The Corsac Theater is officially closed now.
This is Bryan Mullins the Fox's last ever creepypasta. And don't expect another promo lineup for 2023, it's tiring, pointless, and no longer has a place in modern times. Hi everyone, I am text-to-speech bot David, filling in for Bryan Mullins the Fox. Once upon a time, there once lived a city, known as Brockland Perry, where a lawyer served countless clients for missing children cases since 1999, and his name is Mr. Sean Shepherd Lordhouse. Throughout the city of Brockland Perry, Mr. Lordhouse was falsely accused of being in cahoots with supposed inbred pedophiles known as the Lacadiatus. Those that were falsely accused of hiding evidence for socio-political gain. A falsely attributed group of Mr. Lordhouse's associates and lawyer friends, that many have tried and tried again to conspire against them. There was likely the most important case in the history of Mr. Lordhouse's career as a lawyer at Lordhouse and Williardy, attorney at law. His defense attorney being Stockstone Williardy. It was the case of 6-year-old Casey Princekista Christensen. This was a 7-day-long trial. The first day began with opening arguments from both sides, the prosecution and the defense. The defense looks like they already had their cases made for them because the prosecution lost some key pieces of evidence to link the weapon of choice, the knife, in the case of Casey's death. The prosecution argued that the lost key pieces of evidence doesn't change the fact that the knife associated with Casey's death was in the hands of the suspect, known as Gary Harry Sr. Day 2 of the trial against Gary Harry Sr. continued with the suspect speaking about how, what, and why he killed Casey for. He said the hams were too expensive, in spite of him buying 3 of them for a family of 1.5. This blatantly redundant excuse was instantly hand-waved away by the judge, with the name of Carl Carly King. Day 3 of the trial against Gary Harry Sr. continued with the mother and father of Casey speaking out against Gary for killing their son. The judge gave them a few breaks from being too distraught. Day 4 of the trial against Gary Harry Sr. continued with the judge having a back and forth with the prosecution, arguing that their case against Gary is flimsy because his knife was accidentally incinerated in acid during inspection of the evidence. The one thing the prosecution would have done to completely throw their own case out of the window is that they would have argued that this phenomenon happens beyond even Gary's control. They didn't make that statement, which would have made the case bigger than it actually is. Day 5 of the trial against Gary Harry Sr. continued with the judge having a back and forth with the defense, arguing that their case against the prosecution was flimsy, because denial of accidentally incinerated evidence does not negate him of murder or even both murder and desecration of the corpse. Day 6 of the trial against Gary Harry Sr. continued with closing arguments from both sides, which devolves into petty ad hominem attacks and even a member of the jury to commit suicide. The judge bravely finished the trial on the 7th day, after 9 hours of deliberations. Day 7, in the case against Gary Harry Sr., the jury has found the defendant guilty on both charges of murder and desecration of the corpse. The parents of Casey left so relieved and speechless, they were allowed to leave silently. Mr. Lordhouse, the lawyer on the side of the prosecution, and Mr. Williardy, the defense attorney, dissolved their law firm and shut down both of these separate offices. Mr. Williardy retired after 30 years of being the defense attorney. But for Mr. Lordhouse, The ending for him is an unfortunate and longing one. Mr. Lordhouse, after 15 years of being a lawyer, after being fired, felt like the world was too cruel for children and himself. He committed suicide. Here is the song he sang right before he ended it all.